Hello, friends. I'm glad to be with you this afternoon. Thanks for patiently waiting. I wasn't sure if I would get back from my appointments in time to start at my usual time, so I pushed us back about an hour, and hopefully that means I'm very well organized and won't trip over everything I want to say, and you'll get some great tips today as well. So I have quite a few things to share with you today. So let's get started. My name is Michelle Salcho. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Middle Tennessee. We live in a suburb north of Nashville. So I told you that I wanted to introduce the new Stampin' Blends Neutral family. That we have 10 new blends that were introduced to customers the 1st of February, and demonstrators were able to purchase them in January, so I've had mine, but I have been a little intimidated, just to be fair, because I just have been. So I have pulled out a stamp set that we're going to, that I thought would help us work through them, and then I pulled out a whole bunch more that we're going to look at too. So I'm going to go ahead and switch the camera and stop chattering and see what, oh my gosh, I forgot how to do this. Man, that's kind of scary. Just had quite the brain moment. Okay, so last week I made this super cute card, really fun and easy. It is just a single sheet of cardstock for the card base, or half a sheet, and then I die cut the rainbows from a sheet of white. I cut out a piece of the Designer Series paper that's a celebration item to put behind it, and then I just stamped "You Make Me So Happy." The background, I put all the little 4 little stamps on a block and stamp them all together in the same color. So this is Magenta Madness. And I loved this so much. No ribbons, no embellishments, but too cute, right? So I thought, well, what can we do that would be like that and to allow us to color? Because I wanted to kind of show you just how you can do this so easily. So I pulled out right behind you. My girlfriend Rosemary made the cutest card with this stamp set, and well, that's what led to my purchase of it. But I thought we could work with some of the skin tones here and the hair. Okay, hair has always been something that I really saw a need for more of the hair tones as much as skin tones, if that makes sense. But then I also got to thinking, hey, I like to color. What else could you color and pull those in? So, well, what about the otters from Celebration? Or Catching Butterflies from Celebration? Or A Good Man from the annual catalog? Oh, they're all falling over here. I really thought I might start working with In the Moment. That one I wasn't feeling. Catch You Later? I think we might do this one, so I'm going to set that one just aside for a second. The Squirrels. Now, this is a stamp set that has the 2 steps, so you could stamp the outline and then you can come back and stamp the filler image. And I love doing this that way, but I also have had fun coloring them with the blends. Back on Your Feet, I thought that these would have some opportunities to bring in these new blends. The Way to Goat. Okay, so Back on Your Feet is from the annual catalog. Nuts About Squirrels was in the mini catalog that retired, that ended in the first week of January. In the Moment is in the new mini catalog. So this one is not in a publication right now, but it is current. Back on Your Feet from the annual catalog. Way to Goat from the annual catalog. And even Nature's Beauty from the annual catalog. So lots of opportunities to have some fun with these neutrals. And I'm just going to try and set these out of the way for right now. So just move those over to the other desk. Now, all right. I need to remember to share some other things, but let's get going. I went ahead and stamped my image using the Stamparatus so that I could get this black of their pants, just really dark. And I have a piece of polished pink. Now, for those of you not familiar with the Stamparatus, let me show you what that looks like. So I've placed my image. Actually, you know what? Let's just start fresh so that you can see the whole process. So I have my Stamparatus base. I have a piece of grid paper, and I have one magnet. Then when I am ready to stamp an image like this, and I wasn't worried about that it had to be perfectly straight. I was really stamping it so that I could stamp it multiple times to get this darkness. So I have my acrylic plate over here, and I'm going to put a stamp set underneath the arm, and that gives me stability that you'll see in just a moment. I bring the arm over to pick this up, and then I take it back. Now I'm ready to ink my image over here. We're going to show a lot more of these basic user guides, if you will, for our different tools in the upcoming weeks. So this is just kind of a quick. So I'm just pressing. Remember, the ink is on the surface of the stamp. I don't have to, press like I'm trying to dig, all the way through. But see, this is awesome because you can see that I clearly didn't get enough ink on this because I've got such a light image and some of it looks like it was missed entirely. So this is what we call a red rubber stamp. It has a little more cushion than the photopolymer stamps do. And okay, maybe I do need to press a little harder. It is closer to the hinge, which means that we're kind of on a slope here. So if there's a part that isn't going to make a good connection, it's the part that's closest to the hinge. So I'm going to keep inking this up. Oh, actually, you know what? Why am I inking up my grid paper? I know where this little girl goes now. I can simply add I don't care where it is on the grid paper, how thick it is. The grid paper is just a guide to where I want to put my paper. And like I said, this is more for, so you can see, and I don't know if you can see, I've still got some shininess over here, which tells me there's ink on the stamp. It just didn't make a good transfer to the paper. All right, so that would be fine, but I want to make it a real deep, solid. So I'm going to keep pressing here. And look, I've almost got it. So I've got her pants really good. Just need to get hers. So the closer you move away from the hinge, the easier it's going to be for you to get that solid image all the way. I do not recommend that you put your stamp way over here by the hinge. It's just a little science there. Whoops. Okay, so I'll go ahead and clean her off. And like I said, we're not going to do anything with this image right now. I just wanted to show you what I did. And we'll have some more Stamparatus basics in the near future. All right, so let's pull her off. And I think I'll move the Stamparatus. All right. So now we've got her color, them stamped. We need to color them. And then we will come back and add, actually, you know what? I decided I wanted to add this little sweet puppy dog right here. It's kind of hard to know where he needs to sit. So I need a small block. And if I wanted to be really precise, I would do this on the Stamparatus as well. Because it's a red rubber stamp, I cannot tell exactly where it's gonna stamp. But I want him to act like he's sitting in the basket just a little bit. So I think I can safely come to about there. You know what? I can see through this. So let's go ahead and do this way. So many ways to do different things. All right, let's ink up. Oh, darn it. I have nothing over here, and I just got, oh man, I've got ink everywhere already. Ah! How did that happen? So use my chamois, get myself a little cleaned up, hopefully not transfer ink to everything. Okay, I'm going to ink this little guy up. And then, okay, I'm trying not to get my head in the way, but I want to come down far enough that he's clearly in the basket. And I think that's going to be perfect. So I just masked off a little bit so that he looks like he's sitting in the basket. Maybe not really far in, but that's where he is. He's a brave little soul. All right. So now let's color these guys. Since we're using a polished pink, okay. See, I can't decide where to start. All right, let's do their shirts, and then we'll move on to some of those neutrals. And I think I'm going to start with just a little dark polished pink over here. I love that there's already a pattern kind of built in. And then take the light. I don't think I've used these very much. The blends are always intentionally tight fitting to the lid, to the marker, because they're alcohol and they would dry out if they were left uncapped. And the more color you put down, the more they blend together. So I've left it just a little light showing up on the center there. Now I'm going to do the other one in Fresh Freesia. And I think with the stripes, there's not a lot of blending you can do, period. All right. Now, let's look at all of these new neutrals. Now they don't really have names. They're just kind of different tones. So this little curly-haired wonder, so makes me think of my granddaughter, and she has pretty dark hair. So I'm going to start with this dark and just kind of come along. Now, if you want to blend your colors, you work pretty quickly and come along with another color. If you want them to stand out, or if you want to add that color, that depth that she would have, that she has, then you might wait. But I think I'm just going to be stacking color on here. This is a beautiful, rich color. I'm going to be sad that I've let these intimidate me, aren't I? So right now, and I will, in the blog post that comes out in the morning, so it can come straight to your email, I will list these products. This is part of a new All Together collection. And we'll be featuring that All Together collection in a card class next week. So you can participate in that and see them again there. All right, now I'm going to leave her alone for just a moment. I might want to come back and try and add some depth to give her curl. And I think for this other young lady, let's let's give her a little more of a caramel color. So I don't know yet if this is the lighter color or the dark. We'll just kind of see as we go. So I have a friend, she's a customer of a friend of mine, who is going to be quite excited to see all these neutral tones. She wanted different skin tones than just ivory. I've actually used petal pink a lot in her coloring, which is beautiful coloring. Come in. Now this would be really dark where the ponytail is, where it's gathered together. And then probably here in her part. So now, oh, those are so pretty. Okay, so now let's look at the skin tones a little bit. So this one looks a little pink to me. Hazel is very fair. You've probably heard me say I was not going to color, that when I was introduced to Stampin' Up! At a retreat, one of my friends was just coloring and coloring away, and I was like, oh my gosh, I could never. I don't have the patience for that. And now I don't do anything as beautiful as she does, but I do enjoy coloring a lot more than I ever thought I would. So there's that one. And then, just for the sake of continuing to show the differences, I'll pick up this one. This one seems to have a more yellow base to it. Okay, you know what? I'm going to get in trouble because I didn't do their hands, and I got to remember what I used. And I'm just coming back with a second layer. This is a beautiful warm color. And then, oh my gosh, I truly don't know what I did. So can you all see the differences in what we've done? Very, very pretty. And you know, I think our puppy dog should be in this neutral family too. I'm going to pull out the bronze. That is a color that is in the collection. You'll find it in the catalog currently. There's no sense in making this guy to pretend he looks anything like our dog, because he does not. Our dog would tip the whole bike over. But this is just kind of fun. Yeah, he is funny looking. Don't have any idea what kind of dog he's supposed to be. All right, so they are now colored. I'm going to add a greeting on the bottom. This, we make a great team. So it is right here. And let's Let's go ahead and give them this part at the bottom to kind of give them the ground that they're driving on. So I have a sneak peek for you of the upcoming card club because we are nearing the cutoff time to register. You can subscribe to that card club or you can take it as a one-off. And the 10th is the deadline for doing so. All right, and I'm just going to come up out there. Now they have some ground that they're cycling on, and I'm going to add our greeting to the bottom. Just underneath it. And say, we make a great team. It's always a great idea when you're stamping to go ahead and stamp on your grid paper for a couple of reasons. One, I want to see if I can rely on the bottom line, and you can't see. I want to know if this is going to be straight. If I use the bottom line of my stamp, am I going to be stamping straight across my card? Do I need to make any adjustment? And actually that looks pretty, that is definitely straight enough, which tells me that if I get this crooked on here, it's my own. It's through no fault of the stamp. It is all about the person doing the stamping. Okay, so you can kind of see how I've built these along the same basic pattern. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut my card base, and we're going to create a background for it. But before I do that, I really got to clean a little bit of this up. So I need to put that puppy away. And my greeting. And my ground. And here's my stamp set. All right. And someone asked me a week or so ago what this is in the bottom that I put, you know, how do I put my stamps this way? How did I get that? And I will show that, I will demonstrate that in the Stamping 101 that we're going to do. Got a series of videos that we're going to do. All right, here's the Better Together. That is going to be the stamp set, the stamp that we're going to use for our background. Now, I've got a piece of polished pink, and I'm going to cut this. A lot of times I would cut this to open this way, and this time I'm going to cut it to open this way. So I'm actually going to score it first at 4 1/4. And this is off my table, so it's not getting a great score. And then I'm going to cut it at 5 1/2. So this is our trimmer that has both the scoring blade and a cutting blade. So now I have an extra to do another one later on. And I'm going to get back my polished pink. So now I'm tone on tone stamping. And since my greeting is "We make a great team," using the background Better Together, so when you are stamping like this, I'm not too bothered that my words are going every which way, but you want to make sure that you do stamp some of them off the edge. And I don't even care if it's upside down. This is, you know, we're just, you know, creating more of a background. So turning it some, and yep, the layer that we've made is absolutely going to cover up quite a bit of this. So there's really not any part that would show tremendously. But what we can do to let more of that background show is trim this up a little bit. So we'll bring that trimmer back in and we can cut a little bit off. So I'm gonna, my cutting blade is gonna travel right here. So if I want to trim off a little from the top, oh my gosh, I got pink just by the dog's head, and that's gonna be too close to cut, but that is just gonna have to stay there. I got it on the, oh, that is a little distressing because I really can't cut all of that off. I'll try with my little eraser to see if I can get some of it off, but it's not going to take off much. Now, question becomes, all right, I'll go ahead and take a little bit of this off too. So I've trimmed that up. And now a little bit more of the background will show. Now let's see if I can take this mono eraser and erase any of my color. Now, even if it does, it is liable to take a little bit of the paper, but I might have gotten some of that off. So this is a mono eraser that you can get, a sand eraser. I actually got this from Amazon, and I have several of them. This would make an excellent, they would make an excellent little gift for my subscribers. I might have to consider that. Because I think that definitely helped a little bit. All right, so now come along. And we're going to put this on dimensionals. And so you can see my coloring that bled through. So you can see where I laid down more color in some spots. That is normal. So, and that is why when you are coloring with these, it's typically a layer. This would not be your card front because then it would be kind of messy on the inside. And I don't need all of these to stick down. Some of them are just there for support. Peeling off the backs of those dimensionals. Now I'm going to put this down. Like so. Oh, I wanted to show you. I'm so glad I thought of this beforehand. Because I came up with something. I'm going to need a really long piece though. Have to be longer. Well, no, it doesn't have to be. Okay, get my bone folder. So far I've given you no idea. I sometimes struggle to get things straight. So last week when I was putting those little rainbow cards together, I came up with something. And I did this. I took a strip. You gotta find one. I took a strip of white. Well, of course I can't find one. Hold on. It doesn't have to be white. It just has to be long enough. Okay. I took a strip of cardstock, just a scrap, and I made a little place for it to slide through. So I've got some washi tape here, and I'm just going to use this. I'm working with my grid paper. Guys, if you're not using grid paper, you really need to be using grid paper. It helps so much. Okay, now I've created a straight edge, and I can slide this in, line it up with my grid paper, and now I've got an edge to put my little girls. And I can decide that maybe I want them a little higher. Then I just butt that up there. And there you go. They're straight. Isn't that amazing? Now, I wasn't worried about whether they were even top to bottom. So this is just perfect. Now, I think that these little girls deserve some bling. They're out there doing some hard work. I thought about doing some ribbon, maybe along here, but I don't think there's really a spot for it. Oh, this is not even open. Oh my gosh. This ribbon, this twine, is from the Playful Pets ribbon pack. So it's kind of black and white. Okay, you saw me open that, right? All right, so I've told you I've got a sneak peek of a couple of things. I have a sneak peek of the blog post tomorrow. It's a blog hop that I am participating in. So you want to come along and see, because you're going to see my projects, but you can visit all these other projects too. There's some super talented demonstrators in this group. So maybe this would be cute up here. What the heck? We can always untie it if we don't like it. Okay. Now, I told you that when I'm working with ribbon, you all saw me do my cheater bow last Wednesday, I think it was. Well, when I'm working with twine, a lot of times I just go ahead and tie a knot to hold my tension. And I didn't do a very good job. Well, maybe I did. It's okay. So now we've given that ribbon scissors, please. All right, so now they've got a knot. Could they use a little bling too? I feel like yes. Partly because this is not my strength, I feel like I should continue to work on it. These little guys are really stuck in the package. These are Iridescent Rhinestones. There, looking for my take your pick tool. And I'm going to put one of these big rhinestones. There's a blank space right there. I feel like that needs something. But maybe I'll come down here, and then I'll take a couple of the smaller ones up in this area. So here, and then maybe here. So now we've got 3 little rhinestones there, picking up some bling. I think that is super, super cute. And we've tried out the neutrals. There are 10 neutrals that have just been introduced, 10 neutral Stampin' Blends. And I'll add the links to that in the blog post so that you have it. And if I can remember, I'll also put them in the YouTube description so that you can shop for them, because this is loads of fun. Different skin tones, different tones for animals, for hair. Lots of possibilities here, and I love that we've expanded our blends a little bit. So that'll get photographed and go on the blog. I'll add a photo of this one as well. And then tomorrow's blog, here's a sneak peek of what tomorrow's in the blog hop you'll see. So I have been working with the Artfully Composed, I'm going to say, and I've got these 3 cards that we're going to talk about in the blog post tomorrow. Now, upcoming in February Card Club, so the deadline to register is the 10th, but there are 5 cards in this class for $30. You get a goodie bag worth, this time it's an incredible value. There's about $23 in product in the goodie bag this time. We're going to make 2 of this card. Remember, we made that in a live a couple of weeks ago. And we're going to make 2 of these. This is actually designer series paper that is die cut. And we're going to make 2 of these, as well as 2 of these. So, and the 5th card is a surprise, right? So I'll keep that one to myself. So what am I forgetting to tell you? Oh, I need to go back here. So thank you for being here today. I hope that you enjoyed the cards that we made, and that if you love these and you want to make them for yourself, then I'd be glad to help you make sure you get the supplies that you need to do that. Again, on the blog, so michellesalcho.com is where you'll find that blog post. There'll be a link to it in the YouTube description. There'll be a link on Facebook, and then if you subscribe to my blog, then it's going to be sent directly to your email tomorrow morning. Coming up, in addition to these card classes, will be that Basics, Stampin' Up! Basics 101. It's a series of videos introducing you to the tools, how to use them, how to maximize your value there. And then I have not filmed a story telling you my why. Why did I join Stampin' Up? Why do I stay? What do I know about my team? Because the best value for you is to order a starter kit. It's completely customizable to you. During celebration, the value is even better, but it might be helpful if you knew why some other people joined. And then if you'd like to talk about this opportunity, I would love to help you maximize your value. Join my team of stampers. We are very supportive and we have a lot of fun. So I hope you have a very blessed day. Thanks for being here and on my odd time. And I will see you back on Facebook on Wednesday at 11 o'clock Central. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.